A few months ago, LG released their G2 smartphone around the world, and it packed some great features that made it compete with the HTC One, the Galaxy S4, and the litany of other high-end smartphones out there on the market. They're at it again, this time in the tablet space with the LG G Pad 8.3, and it brings a lot of unique features from the G2 over to their tablet spectrum. I'm Aaron Baker from PhoneDog.com, and the question is, in part one, does this thing compete with the iPad, some of the other Android tablets, and more? Let's go find out in the full video review of the LG G Pad 8.3. If you take a look at this tablet and you think to yourself, this looks a lot like the LG G2, well, it's intended to. It has the same design language as LG's new high-end smartphone, but this is the LG G Pad 8.3, a new tablet from LG, and like I said, very reminiscent of their newest high-end smartphone. The design is very similar, and specs-wise, it's got a lot to like on the tablet front. It's packing an 8.3-inch display with 1200 by 1920 pixels, 273 ppi, so a nice display all around, and other specs include 2 gigabytes of RAM, 16 gigabytes of internal storage. You've got a 1.7 gigahertz quad-core Snapdragon 600 CPU here, a non-removable 4,600 milliamp hour battery, 5 megapixel camera on the back, and granted you don't get a flash, but you still got that camera option as well as a front-facing camera, and it packs some of LG's little features like Knock On, where I can double tap on the screen to turn it on in landscape mode, apparently, as you can see there, and it's packing Android 4.2 out of the box with LG's user interface. Now, overall, the look and feel on the user interface side, very similar to the LG G2, so this could be a great companion to your G2 device or a great standalone device as well if you're looking for an Android tablet and perhaps 10.1 is a little bit too large for you, or you don't want the 9.7-inch iPad or even the iPad mini, you want something kind of in the middle of all those, the 8.3-inch G Pad could be a tablet for you. Before I get too far into the full review, I want to thank our partners at Best Buy Mobile. They don't give us tablets, but they give us phones that we give away to you for free on PhoneDog.com. So thanks to them, when you go into Best Buy Mobile, you'll walk out with whatever device works best for you. It's part of their walkout working program, and they really take great pride in that. Getting a device that works for you and setting everything up so when you walk out the door, you're working, you got what you need, and it's all thanks to the boys in blue at Best Buy Mobile. So specs-wise, you've got a nice device over here, and just talking really briefly about the hardware, you've got your volume rocker over on the side, power button up top, very slim all around as well. You're looking at a device that's about 0.33 inches thick, 8.3 millimeters thin, very nice and svelte. 3.5 millimeter headphone jack up top, watch on port, excuse me, not watch on, your IR blaster for the remote control. Got micro USB charging port down here at the bottom, and then over on the side, nothing over here. Now you've got a metal back, as you can see back here. Really nice looking speakers on the back. You do not, again, have a removable battery, but what you do have up here, as you can see, is your micro SD card slot right up top. So it is a Wi-Fi only device, at least this particular variant is a Wi-Fi only device. Special thanks to LG for sending over a review unit. And let's talk about what comes out of the box. You can see the applications here. Again, typical LG look and feel, looks a lot like their smartphones, and a lot of the same software goodies are prevalent on this tablet as well. You've got, of course, the traditional stuff, Chrome, all the different Google Plus services. You've got LifeSquare, LG Backup. You've got some things like Update Center, which is LG's kind of, as it sounds, centralized update place where you can get all your updates to LG's applications, particular Android updates, etc. You've got QPair, which we'll talk about in part 2, or perhaps if we have time a little bit later in part 1, a really nice little application that I have on the G2, and I'm going to show you how it works and how you can pair your phone to the tablet and use your tablet as kind of an extension of your smartphone. So of course you've got other things including Polaris Office, Quick Translator, File Manager, Box, Dictionary, and more. And of course you've got your traditional widgets here as well. You've got clock, bookmarks, as you would expect, traditional Android widgets here, and all in all this thing is pretty fast all around with little to no lag, despite having a Snapdragon 600. I can just hear the comments out there going right now, why doesn't this have a Snapdragon 800 CPU? Why is it a 600? Honestly, in day-to-day use, I know the differences between them from a tech side. In day-to-day use, you don't really notice a speed difference, at least I don't as far as I'm concerned. So buttons down here at the bottom as well, on-screen buttons here, menu, home, and back, and much like the LG G2, you've got a similar looking notification area here. And let's jump into settings and just have a look. Now obviously 8.3-inch display, it does maximize that screen size a little bit differently than you would see on the smartphone. The layout here is a little bit different. And we'll come in here, for example, to display. You've got knock-on feature here, you've got the screen off effect. So a lot of those same goodies you see over on the LG G2. Things like screen off effect, like I said, and the knock-on, and all those different goodies. Font type, font size, very similar here, including this one, the front touch buttons, which I like this feature quite a bit. We'll bring it up to the camera here so you can take a closer look. And I've got the option, obviously because of the larger display, to have even more on-screen buttons down here at the bottom. So you can configure this any way you want to. If you want to go with LG's configuration, perhaps you're more familiar with another Android device, you can go with the menu button there on the left side. You can add quick access to your notification drawer or panel. You've got quick access to quick memo. You've got a bunch of different options here, including the option to have up to 5 down here at the bottom. So a lot of different choices, and you can make that your own. And not only can you make it your own, but you can change the overall color theme as well, which I should have shown you. Theme here, got black and white. And then I can change transparent background as well. So I can make this black all throughout or all white throughout so you don't see the wallpaper here at the bottom. But overall, again, very fast all around. And we'll take a look quickly here at the Chrome browser and we'll load it up. So we'll type in phonedog.com and you'll see the keyboard here. Again, very traditional LG keyboard with a dedicated number row up top. And again, pretty easy to type on all around. It's not my favorite Android keyboard. There's some great alternatives. Some of my favorites include HTC's latest keyboard that you see on the HTC One, and actually Samsung's latest keyboard on the Galaxy Note 3 is quite good as well, with great auto correction all around. So here we go though, decent. I like the fact that the number row is there for quick access, but you can see 8.3-inch display here. Pretty easy to see, and of course PhoneDog loaded up on our tablet optimized version here with latest and featured news, and of course our exclusive articles as well. So all in all, pretty quick and easy to use here. You've got your tabs. Google Chrome works pretty nicely. And I've got the option to add new tabs as I see fit and move right through those, kind of like the desktop version of Chrome. So very fast. We'll take a closer look here at the keyboard as well, just by typing in a memo, for example, and you can see what it looks like in both portrait and in landscape mode. Again, pretty easy to type on. You can use it pretty much one-handed in both portrait and in landscape mode, as you see here. Particularly in portrait, it is a small enough tablet that you can do this on the fly and use it kind of like your smartphone. So we'll say the Quick Brown Fox is happy, and I'm not doing a good job, to be alive. Quick Brown Fox, tell Quick Brown Fox is happy to be alive, according to this. But what I was trying to say is the Quick Brown Fox is happy to be alive. So pretty easy to type on. Again, I like the fact that the number row is always up there, but of course you can download alternatives as you would expect from the Google Play Store if you want a different keyboard experience. Keep it locked on phonedog.com. In part 2, we'll cover speed tests, we'll cover camera settings, and we'll talk a little bit more about this crazy thing called Q-Pair that you're seeing right here. Stay tuned for part 2.